We are live. How is everybody doing this fine day? I'm going to pull this up a little bit. I'm going to put that up a little bit. Hope everybody's doing great today. I'm having a great day. Lots of client work, lots of research done, lots of reading done. And I just thought today, in my research, I was going back many years to the history of, well, this channel and things I have said in the past, because it's always good to see what you when you're a public figure. And I know people don't like but clearly, like, people show up to listen to me speak, right? So it's always good to, and I don't think I'm anything that important, trust me, but I'm a public figure. So I think it's important that you go back and look at shit you've said before, right? And one of my biggest mainstays has been the difference between healthcare and sick care. The video one of the videos we're about to look over is a video of mine that I made just in the car, because for those of you that are new, I used to film almost everything from my car because I was working in the healthcare industry. I was a healthcare executive for over a dozen years, and I did a lot of traveling. So I would just, from the car, shoot the video, edit it, and put it out, right? I didn't do that many lives. When I did lives, it was at 5 o'clock in the morning. I did live at 5 a lot. But one of the things that I think is interesting is I wanted to make sure I was being consistent with my thought patterns in healthcare and sick care. Now, I understand that people like to box people. They like to put people in boxes, right? And for those of you that don't understand this, I am super well aware of how I look. Like, I am super well aware that I look like a gang member. Like, I get it. Like, I understand this. I look like the guy that's either, when I'm wearing a suit, I look like the guy that's going to pick up the white envelope at the end of the week. And when I am in my redneck clothes, I look like a biker member. And I don't even own a bike. So it's just, I'm aware, right? But the thing that I think that is both beneficial and for me, the negative, like the negative of people automatically assuming that I'm either stupid or, stuff like that. Well, there we go. My pleasure. But I really think that people need to understand, like, I oftentimes use it as like a positive. Like, people automatically assume that I am stupid, that I don't know what I'm talking about, not knowing that I was an executive, ran hundreds of millions of dollars worth of business, have literally written policy for counties in the United States and for multi-billion-dollar companies, and best-selling weight loss author, helped thousands of people lose weight, those sorts of things, right? My biggest hobby is reading studies about shit, all sorts of shit, which is why during the COVID pandemic, I chose to speak up instead of do what most of the people in the fitness industry did. And to their credit, most of the people in the fitness industry are stupid as fuck. Most of the people in the fitness industry, like especially YouTube fitness, don't know how to read studies. Most people in the fitness industry and in YouTube fitness, they don't know how to do anything but bicep curls, lift weights. And that's great. That's good for you motherfuckers. It's weird, though, that you guys kept your mouths shut when they were basically trying to, fucking destroy your careers. They were closing all the gyms, and they were trying to make it seem like anybody that lifted weights was toxically masculine. They were trying to label masculinity as toxic, when in fact, the real toxicity is femininity, is feminine masculinity, meaning like men should be masculine. It's reality. A weak ass man is a problem normally, because they are not even healthy. Like, if you're a 25-year-old and your testosterone levels are in the fucking 300s, you're unhealthy, and chances are you're going to act like it. But I digress. I just wanted to go over the video, and then we're going to do a few other things, and I'm going to do Q&A. If you have a question, please understand you can ask it later, and I will get to it. But if you just ask questions throughout the whole thing, there's a strong chance that I am going to not see it. There's a strong chance that I am going to just not view it. Oh my goodness. But there's a strong chance that I'm not going to see it, right? I'm not going to, there's going to be so many comments that I'm not going to see it. So ask later after I say, okay, I'll take Q&A. But here's the video I wanted to discuss. Screen. Boom. All right, so this is me in the car. Clean shaven. That's not bad for 6 years. I look relatively the same, except I didn't have the tattoos back then, and I'm actually a little bit bigger right now, I think. But that's neither here nor there. So let's get on with this. This is from, just so everybody gets it. This is from 6 years ago. So this is from February 15th of 2018. So this is actually almost 7 years ago that I made this video. Pretty motherfucking wild, if you ask me. And let's do this shit.
Healthcare is actually extremely inexpensive.
You gotta be so.
I'm not going to play that whole thing because I told Jeff that he could take the copyright thing and put it on. So just in case it would play on a new one, because I'm not using that intro anymore. I used it for years. Thanks to Jeff McCool in Moccasin Creek, one of my very best friends, one of my very oldest longtime friends, is the author, writer, producer of that song. And it's called Get Away. It's from Moccasin Creek. If you love that song, like I love it, I still work out to it nearly every day. And the verses to it are basically, I think, like words to live by, like be so good that they can't ignore you is what I've always done with this stuff. And when it was healthcare, those sorts of things. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to push forward here on it. Okay.
My name's Alan Roberts. This is Every Damn Day Fitness. Please like, subscribe, click the notification over here. Sometimes I'll tell you when I do stuff. Sometimes they just won't. I have no idea how that shit works. But
please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and make sure that you click the notifications to all, please, because YouTube is being a bitch. Anyway,
I just want to talk today, and before all of you get pissed off and everything like that, healthcare is actually extremely inexpensive. The shit
it's extremely inexpensive. Healthcare is less expensive than being fat.
Guys are thinking about that's really expensive is really expensive. That's Sickcare. That's the shit you need for when you get sick. That's the insurance you pay to an insurance company who then tries to not pay out, like not try to pay for your sickness for once you get sick.
And for those people that think I don't know what I'm talking about, I was a healthcare executive. They try not to pay you. There is somebody sitting in the office of every insurance company that is trying to not pay you. They're trying to bill you. They're trying to not pay for itemized things. It's always good to ask for an itemized bill if you go to the hospital. You'll find out that if they gave you like even a Coca-Cola, it's going to be $50. Aspirin are like $20. Ask for an itemized bill from the hospital, not just a blank bill. Ask for an itemized bill. And most people don't ask for one because they just pay their copay. And then what gets charged is insane. So if we got rid of that shit, if we had transparency in pricing in the healthcare industry, it would help reduce healthcare prices for everybody. Nobody should need, it shouldn't be this big. Not to mention that, but like 50% of all of 50% of all of the basic costs for healthcare in our modern healthcare system are administrative. It's people pushing papers and deciding. It's people that are on the board. It's people in the executive offices. It was people like me who, I stayed in hotels almost every night. They paid for all my food. They paid for gas. They paid for everything, right? They paid for flights. They paid for anything, right? And they would use that as a tax write-off. So they would tell you, like, stay at a nice hotel, stay there, stay here. That's because they can push it, Erica, I can confirm that. I work as an insurance claim analyst. There's so many systems in place to auto-deny claims. It's crazy. On top of that, they will use every excuse under the sun to deny claims. Yep. Insurance is why the costs are so high. If we just paid out of pocket, it would be a lot cheaper. That is completely 100% true. because it would then be market value. And market value, if they wanted to stay in business, people wouldn't pay out of pocket for crazy stuff. Like the morbidly obese people I cover all the time on this channel, they wouldn't be able to afford to be morbidly obese. It would actually help America be healthier because they couldn't. If people can afford to be sick and kept alive by medication right now. Like people can afford it. If they couldn't afford it because they had to pay for it out of pocket, people would take their health a lot more seriously. They would stay healthy so they didn't have to incur the cost. And then at some point in time, like somebody that gives themselves type 2 diabetes, because 95% of all type 2 diabetes is lifestyle driven. It's the person gives it to themselves, then they don't correct it. And the healthcare industry is not going to tell you how to correct it because the healthcare industry keeps there's no more money made than a diabetic patient. A type 2 diabetic patient, there's no more money made. They have you on monthly multiple prescriptions. You have to visit them very, very, very often. Even the testing kits are expensive. It is a huge, huge, huge racket. That's why the healthcare industry and doctors, they don't tell you that it's probably reversible or at least manageable just by your lifestyle. They tell you it's okay to eat candy bars. The American Diabetes Association doesn't even tell you to change your motherfucking diet when you go on Ozempic. That's fucked up. Seriously fucked up.
It's thousands of dollars a year, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a year, depending on your family size. And then when somebody actually does get sick, that's when you access that shit. And then they still try to not pay it. You still have to pay more out of your pocket. It's fucking ridiculous. The federal government, I'm very sorry. Please don't shut this shit down. But
I was already worried about them then. I had just left the healthcare industry. What about unavoidable conditions, though? Congenital conditions and injuries can cause severe health problems that people can't lifestyle out of. I mean, I've always said that healthcare, like our healthcare system, should be for acute injury. It should be for acute illness or acute injury. And if the person has a birth defect or something like that, absolutely. But that's not the case in our healthcare industry. 90% of our healthcare industry, of the burden of the $4.5 trillion that we have in healthcare burden, 90% of that is chronic and mental illness, which are 90% themselves lifestyle relatable, lifestyle derived and avoidable or mitigatable. So I understand what you're saying. You're like, what if? Well, we should take care of, like, here's the thing. Type 1 diabetics should hate type 2 diabetics. Type 1 diabetics have a much harder time getting the medication they need, paying for the medication that they need because of type 2 diabetics. And type 2 diabetics, one more time, about 95% of the time, it's your fucking fault. And I know people don't like to hear that because we live in a society that, oh my God, nothing can be my fault. It's your fucking fault. You lifestyled yourself into it. And yes, you may have a genetic predisposition to it, but that means you should just take your health and your nutrition and stuff like that a lot more seriously. That's all that means. That's all that means. It's called personal responsibility. So I also understand where you're coming from, but congenital conditions and injuries can cause severe health problems, of course, and that's who healthcare should be for. But our healthcare system is, one more time, 90% of it, and a lot of, and this is true, the congenital or uncontrollable conditions, generally speaking, will always cost less than a lifetime diabetic patient because those conditions come with a spirit of claim. Diabetes is constant. That's it exactly. That's it exactly. 100%. So I get what you're saying. I wasn't pointing you out directly. Like, you're very internalizing this. However, you would pay less if other people would take personal responsibility. If you would take less. Here we go.
Anyway, what my point is that healthcare is actually very inexpensive. Healthcare is what? A $35 gym membership and your fucking time. Yep. Because don't give me that bullshit about how, it is way expensive. It's super more expensive to eat healthy than it is from eating unhealthy. That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yes, it is.
It is easily less expensive, in my opinion, of course, because you buy.
That's what I was quoting the phrase, in my opinion, of course, because, people get so upset. But reality is, it's less expensive to eat healthy than it is to eat fast food. Definitely, especially in today's climate.
Food about at the same fucking prices if you know where to fucking shop and how to fucking shop, and then you make that shit at home instead of eating out at a restaurant, saving the tip, saving the extra tax, saving all that bullshit. It is easily less expensive to eat healthy than it is to eat like shit. especially in the long run, because then if you eat healthy, it actually has statistically shown to reduce the number of times you have to access your sick care, which just because you pay into it every month does not mean that you still don't have to pay when you fucking get sick, especially if you get tragically sick. That's the fucking truth. Most, chronic illnesses in the United States, at the very least, are avoidable by a healthy lifestyle. Yep. So here's what you fucking do.
This is how long ago, almost 7 years ago, I started saying this. 7 years ago, I was talking about how we cannot suffer this. 7 years ago, since this video, by the way, our healthcare burden our shared healthcare burden has grown over $1 trillion a year. Since this video 7 years ago, it's grown over $1 trillion a year. That means the revenue for the healthcare industrial complex has grown $1 trillion fucking a year in 7 years. It's wild. It's insane.
$35 gym membership, which allows you to go to the gym 3 to 5 times a week. And hey, guess what? You'll meet some other fucking healthy people instead of the fucking people you sit around with and watch Friends and Seinfeld over and fucking over again. Hey, here's a fucking newsflash, okay? Joey ends up fucking single and Monica and Chandler end up fucking married. How the fuck does that happen? Just ruined it for you. Guess what? 10 seasons saved. You can get to the fucking gym now. What the fuck? I mean, that's the fuck.
Oh, it's spicy in this one.
Fucking bullshit. In our country, in America, at the
very. By the way, I love Friends. I've watched the series many times. I was just I make jokes, people. It's what I do.
Because I'm not speaking for other countries. We do not take care of our actual health. We do not have health care. We have sick care. We have that shit that they actually use only pretty much to help you get healthy once you get sick. We don't do any fucking prevention in order to avoid getting sick. Healthcare is prevention. Sick care is once you fucking get sick. Mm-hmm. So get up off your asses, join a fucking gym, eat fucking healthy. It'll actually save you a ton of fucking money in the fucking long run. My name's Alan Roberts, and this is Every Damn Day.
There we go. That was it. But let's do this real quick. I wanted to also check out a few other things. So, Sickcare. So there was also this one. Wow, that video is not very good. That video is not very good quality. So give me one more second. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. By the way, this is just a little test. This is just to see something. Okay. But for those of you that have watched this channel for a long time, right? I understand that if you've just come back, give me 1 second. If you've just come back to watching me after the whole COVID thing and everything like that, I would like to tell you that I was right. And if you doubted me, you were wrong. 100%. I called the whole fucking thing the way it fucking was. World Health Organization basically is a puppet to try to fucking enslave people. And they are the sick care industry. The World Health Organization, along with our CDC, is the sick care industry and FDA. I'm just going to play this clip without interceding. And by the way, YouTube, this is on YouTube still. This is from the U.S. FDA site, U.S. Food and Drug Administration YouTube page. It is still on there. And this is from a meeting held on 9/17/2021. Here we go. As you can see at the very bottom, U.S. Food and Drug Administration. This is their official site. And this is an excerpt from, you can look this up. You can watch the whole Vaccine and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee meeting from 9/17/2021. But here's what they had to say. And I'll just, I'll basically just go with it without speaking again.
Only the VAERS numbers are statistically significant, but the other numbers are troubling. Even if the vaccines had 100% protection, it still means we kill 2 people to save 1 life. 4 experts did analyses using completely different non-U.S. data sources and all of them came up with approximately the same number of excess vaccine-related deaths, about 411 deaths per million doses. That translates into 150,000 people have died. Next slide would be slide number 11, the nursing home. Now, the real numbers confirm that we kill more than we save. And I would love everyone to look at the Israel Ministry of Health data on the 90-plus-year-olds, where we went from a 94.4% vaccinated group to 82.9% vaccinated in the last 4 months. In the most optimistic scenario, it means that 50% of the vaccinated people died and 0% of unvaccinated people died. Unless you can explain that to the American public, in the most optimistic...
I think we should listen to that little excerpt again.
...in the last 4 months. In the most optimistic scenario, it means that 50% of the vaccinated people died and 0% of unvaccinated people died. Unless you can explain that to the American public, you cannot approve the boosters. Slide number 16, please, myocarditis. The paper just posted yesterday on medRxiv entitled mRNA COVID-19 Vaccination and Development of CMR Confirmed Myopericarditis shows that the myopericarditis risk was 1 in 1,000. And that's an overall age range from 18 to 65, mean age of 33. It is not inconsistent with what the VAERS shows. Next slide would be slide number 18, gaming of the trial. It's pretty clear that the Pfizer trial results were gamed. It's statistically impossible for protocol violations to be 5 times higher in the treatment group. Why hasn't this been investigated?
Why hasn't it been investigated? That would be a good, very good, super good question. So now that we've gone through that, and by the way, you can see all sorts of other stuff. But I just wanted to point out that one more time, if you lost me because like you thought I was so wrong about COVID, I just wanted to say that you're a fucking stupid fuck, and I was right. How is that? And if any of you are in the audience right now and would like to have a discussion as we are live about it, you can come on live. Just have your camera on with your face, and you can debate me on that topic any fucking day. I hope you have a doctorate. I hope you're a PhD. I hope you're an MD, and you want to try to debate me on COVID policy, on public health policy, and shit like that. I have written whole fucking programs for counties on outbreaks in the fucking country. I would love to destroy a doctor's career live on fucking camera. It would be awesome. So beyond that, and let me know in the chat if you're a doctor or you're a PhD and you want to debate me about our public health response and how fucking ridiculous it was for the last 5 fucking years about a fucking cold. I'll gladly make you look stupid. Anyway, let's do this. This is so true, Suzanne. FDA not saving lives by approving drugs, then pulling them for 3 decades. Exactly. Yes, he does, which is why I asked if he was talking about allow just the market to correct prices. The market would correct prices. If we would have only insurance be paid for via insurance paid for only acute injury and non-lifestyle driven comorbidities, like it would still correct. There would be a lot less business. We'd need a lot less doctors. We need a shit ton less hospitals, and because people would take better care of their own health. It would drive it down because people wouldn't access the healthcare industry. One more time. I know this might be hard because some reason you're not getting this. 90% of healthcare burden is lifestyle driven. If you remove 90% of it, then it is going to drive the prices of everything else down dramatically. It's called math. Definitely not questioning Alan's intentions of care, just questioning if market prices corrected would actually help things. So you don't. So, did you do the new math or something like that? Is it like the Common Core math that you started doing? Because how can you not see if you reduce the burden by 90% for what is coverable by insurance that it wouldn't drive the prices fucking down? Like, I'm sorry, like that makes common sense to me. Wow. If that's you go anyway. I will say gyms are constantly closing by me, and I live in a big city. It's wild, isn't it? It's almost like they want you to be sick, fat, and dependent upon pharma. It's almost like that's like what we do, right? It's almost like that's what our country does, Some people, including myself, don't get math, apparently. Let's see. I actually have a few other ones. Give me a sec. Let me go to video details. Sick, fat. Well, that was from recently. Let's see which one this one's from. A bunch of other ones where I talk about where they want you sick, fat, and stupid, and that's the truth. Well, one, that's not a question, that's a statement. And two, one more time, if medical burden goes down by 90% in totality, do you think, and think hard on this, do you think it would lower the costs for everything if 90% of the whole entire healthcare burden for the entire healthcare system of America would all of a sudden come out of people's pockets instead of through insurance and taxes? Do you think it would lower the pricing of stuff? Think hard. Now I'm just taking you as disingenuous. It's almost like you can't like there's like lack of critical thinking or logic. So now it just seems like you're just speaking. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Anywho, but let's go to a few other things I thought would be interesting to look at today. So I'll just take Q&A. Whatever else you got. I'll just take whatever else you guys want to talk about. I hate when people use the excuse healthy food is expensive. I always tell them that is not true. Rice and beans at the dollar store are pretty cheap. That's one of my biggest things. And then people are like, oh, so they can't enjoy life? If you're poor, no. I'm sorry, you don't. I mean, it's weird that like we're worried about them getting highly flavored, ultra palatable, addictive food instead of like them nourishing themselves. When you're poor, you should be worried about feeding yourself and surviving. I mean, we don't have actual, like, and just so everybody understands, we don't have true poverty in America. People don't starve to death in America. We're one of the only countries in the world where people are considered poor when they're fat as fuck. Like, being obese is a condition of overconsumption 100% of the time. 100% of the time, being morbidly obese is a condition of overconsumption. Katie Lynn, is Mark my best friend? Besides my wife and son, yes, absolutely. Not only is he my best friend, he's one of the best friends I've ever had in my life. I can think back to maybe a few people I went to high school with that I still talk to. Like, I'm not going to say his name on camera, my high school friend, because I don't want to put him out there. But he knows who he is. What's up, motherfucker? Juice, what's happening? But another really good friend of mine, his name is Dave Ankin. He is the actor, producer, and all that stuff for the show Toy Makers. It's about cars. I've known him for about 30 years. Great guy. But Mark is, me and Mark talk all day long, pretty much every day. And he's a great guy. Like, we understand. First of all, our ADHDs are very similar. Like, we have very similar ADHD minds. So we understand each other pretty well. We normally are, thinking the same thought process. One of us will come up with an idea and think it through, and then we'll both think it through together. But yeah, he's absolutely my best friend. Besides my wife and son, my wife is my best friend that I've ever had in my life. She is my everything, and I'm very lucky that I consider my son my best friend, next to my wife, and then Mark's after that, and he knows that. So let's see. Hey, Alan, love what you do. Thank you very much. Had an email come through today that recalled a medication because the packaging is marked with the wrong strength, and taking too much of this medication can cause life-threatening consequences. What the fuck? Well, they don't even. I'm amazed that they did it. I'm amazed that they recalled it. I truly am. It's wild to me how that shit happens all the time, and it's it's not spoken about. It's just the same thing. Like everybody knows that like SSRIs have a black box warning on them for suicidal ideation, right? Like SSRIs, selective serotonin receptor intake medications, they have a warning on them for suicidal ideation. Mark came up with the formulation for the supplement, yes, with the patent. But you know, we reached out to him and said what it needed to do and how we would like it for both supplements. And also, then one of the things that one of the reasons why I wanted to work with Mark is because he agreed that it would only be patented ingredients. And the reason why I wanted patented ingredients is because patented ingredients have human testing on them, human clinical studies that can be repeated and proven. So when I say that No Morbidity has ingredients in it that help people lose weight and help control their hunger, it's not because it's like a guess or an assumption. It's clinically proven, just like if it was a drug. For instance, Slimaluna has been shown to reduce waist circumference in a 6-month period of time by up to like fucking 3 or 4 inches, you know? And Alchemy has NC2 in it. NC2 in multiple clinical studies has helped reverse prediabetes and type 2 diabetes, lowered cholesterol levels, lowered blood pressure, increased insulin sensitivity dramatically for people with insulin sensitivity or insulin resistance. It's an amazing product. And it also has dehydroberberine in it. Dehydroberberine is a patented form of berberine, a patented condensed form of berberine. And berberine has been in many clinical trials, human clinical trials against metformin, been shown to be just as effective as metformin, if not more effective, because it doesn't have the same side effects. So yes, but that's why we went with him. And he understands me, and he's funny. So I need somebody else to, somebody to talk to for lives that will say crazy shit, just like I'll say crazy shit, you know? I didn't know that about SSRIs. SSRIs can cause suicidal ideation. It's wild. Same with ADHD medications. ADHD medication can cause people to want to jump off bridges and shit. They don't ever tell you. No, I mean, it's the same thing like fucking semaglutide. The ingredient in Wegovy and Ozempic has a black box warning for thyroid tumors on it. Now they say like, oh, well, that's just rat data. Well, I'm going to point out multiple things. First of all, the booster shots were said to be safe because of rat data, like 6 mice or something like that. And I'm not joking. You can look that up. So we injected it they suggested that the entire population of the world get injected with a third shot, the third gene therapy based off of mice data. And that's not a lie. That's 100% true. All of you can fucking look it up. The other thing is like the wild bullshit is that it also has been shown to like have many problems. I was just talking with somebody recently. The prevalence that I have of clients that have had their gallbladder out after, and they think it's from Ozempic, is wild. It's like a very seriously close correlation. Now, don't get me wrong. When people lose a ton of weight, oftentimes, like when they lose hundreds of pounds, oftentimes their gallbladders are not going to need to come out because the way the fat's processed through it. That happens. Like when people lose weight very rapidly, that can happen too. They can get gallbladder problems, gallstones, those sorts of things. But it is it's almost like 100% of people I know that have taken this medication and then gone off of it that have to get their gallbladder taken out. It's wild. What are the most interesting studies you've read recently? I've read quite a few studies on nattokinase, which is right here, for its effect on avoiding strokes, blood clots, those sorts of things, heart health. It's an amazing supplement. It's something that almost everybody should take, especially every dude should take. I would argue that if we did a head-to-head study between nattokinase, the patented form of nattokinase, if we did a study on the patented form of nattokinase versus statins, that it would destroy statins, especially because there wouldn't be any side effects, because there's no real side effects from nattokinase. But I think it would beat he said it would beat the or not he said, I'm reading fucking shit too, but I believe it would beat statins. But I've also been doing a lot of research on raw honey too. Like raw honey is a pretty interesting thing. It's shown to have an anorectic effect and a very satiating effect. It's also got a lot of phytonutrients in it that are rather interesting too. I remember when you shared pictures when you were bigger and you looked really happy. What made you want to change despite seeming happy with your situation? Dude, I'm smiling for a fucking picture. I'm smiling for a picture, like in the picture you saw me. Like if you would have taken a picture of me trying to fucking tie my shoes, it would have been a very different look on my face. Like, so when you're having pictures taken with people, do you not smile? Because that's a little weird. But don't be wrong. I mean, I had nothing to be. Besides being fat fuck and binging out of control, I had a great life. I fucking healthcare executive, married to a gorgeous woman that loves me, great fucking kid, good fucking friends, great fucking parents. Like I have a good fucking life, So besides being a complete fat fuck that should be absolutely fucking disgusted with myself because I was fat, my life was pretty good. So I had plenty to smile about in pictures, but being that fat is fucking miserable. What made me decide to change is I wanted to have the good life for a long time. He said he was miserable while binging. Miserable. It was horrible. When I had gastric bypass, they had me on gallbladder medication for the first year. After the first year and a half, I am off on medications. That's awesome. That's awesome. Good for you. And one more time, congratulate Bright Light. Look at that fucking transformation. That's fucking great. Great fucking job. You should be super fucking proud of yourself. Very super fucking proud of yourself. I also wanted to just real quickly put out to anybody, if you need help losing weight, if you need help getting a healthier lifestyle, here are our Make America Healthy Again coaching specials. Please do take us up on these offers. Month to month is $99.99. And I will tell you this, we might run a little special here later on today. I might, because Crystal's done such a good job with her clients. A lot of them have graduated out. We did a special that involved basically the 4-month holiday season special, and a lot of her clients not only did not gain weight over the holidays. The year package is back because we have had many people graduate out. Crystal had tons of people that not only didn't gain the normal 10-15 pounds that they gain over the holiday season, but they actually lost weight. We had very good success with people losing weight over the holidays this year. Very, very, very good success. Like it seems like every year we get a little bit better with it. So, but yeah, the year package is back. So please do take us up on that offer. If you want to get the year package, I would suggest you get it today because it's probably going to be done before too long. It probably won't be around for more than a couple of days or a day or two. So I would suggest you grab it if you are interested in it. There we go. So I really like how graduating is part of your program. I'm very, very happy that we do that because I don't want clients for life. I don't want people to be on these supplements for life. Like, don't be wrong. I'm going to be on these for life. Or, I mean, if Ambrosia would stop making them, I'm going to be on these ingredients for life. They control my binging disorder, and I want to live a long, happy, healthy life. So those two, nattokinase and a few other supplements that we're still going to be talking about here in the future and stuff like that. I'm going to be on forever, but we designed them for people to be able to wean their way off of them once they're done. I'm just a severe binge eater. I'm like, I can binge thousands, fucking 5,000-6,000 calories at a sitting, and that's just not healthy. So I can't go back to binging. I just fucking can't. I am 4 years and 13 days since my last binge, and I'm going to fucking make that fucking 40 years if I can. That's for goddamn sure. 40 years, I'll be an old motherfucker. Goddamn. Anywho, any last questions before I wrap this shit the fuck on up and I go grill some steaks from the wife and I, do some potatoes for her. I'm going a big fucking fat ass fucking fatty ass ribeye, salt, pepper, garlic powder. That's it. No worries. No worries at all. Anywho, one more time, please make sure you like, subscribe, notification bell, share this with everybody you can. Well, thank you. Whoop. I remember that. And thank you very much. Remember that? What's a fun fact about yourself you have never shared on YouTube? I love musicals. Singing in the Rain is one of my favorite live shows I've ever seen. I saw Singing in the Rain. My wife took me to see Singing in the Rain at the Benedum Center in Pittsburgh years and years and years ago, and they made it rain in there. It was one of the fucking most captivating, well done performances I've ever seen in my entire life. I absolutely love. I love musicals. I love Oklahoma. I love all of them. I love all of them. So, and I think that's pretty different about me, because I'm very I'm a person of very a wide variety of interests. That's normal for ADHD. So, but that's a fun fact, I guess, about me. So, I love hiking, stuff like that. Do I like La La Land? If it's what I'm thinking about, hang on. I haven't really. It's a 2016 American musical romantic comedy. I really haven't seen it. I really haven't watched it. I like older ones, but I believe I've seen snippets of it. I can't really speak to it, so I can't say if I like it or don't like it. The reason why I seem apprehensive is because what are my top 5 favorite musicals? I gotta put it in the top 5. I need to see a list of the things I've watched. Let me pull it up. The only one I haven't seen, by the way, one of the ones I haven't seen is Wicked, and I don't plan on seeing it. We saw Phantom of the Opera in New York City. That was fucking banging. I've seen Chicago, Mamma Mia. We've seen Les Miserables. I've seen Beauty and the Beast. I've seen Mary Poppins. I've seen, let's see, what else have we seen? Of course, we've seen Singing in the Rain. Very great stuff. And I've never seen Cats either, but I wanted to see Cats also. Let's see. If you have a moment, the question was more about what's called orphan disease syndrome. Uncommon ailments don't get researched. Unfunded treatment becomes expensive. Therefore, could market fix that? Market will fix. If 90% of the burden of any market is taken away, the costs on the rest of it will go down. I understand what you're trying to say. You're trying to talk about your specific thing. Or specific things, and I am letting you know that the healthcare industry everything would reduce in price if 90% of the burden was removed. It wasn't because you couldn't type fast enough. It's you're not grasping the fact that 90% of the burden is lifestyle-driven comorbidities. That if people had to pay for those out of their pockets, the 10% of others that are congenital or acute or from some sort of traumatic injury or something like that, all the treatments and hospitalization for all of that would become drastically cheaper because there wouldn't be 90% more driving up the cost of every fucking thing. It's basic economics. I'm not trying to be harsh, but my goodness, that is just reality, Can you show the brand of notification news? I just found this one. This is the Harbach. It's just off of Amazon. I'm just testing the actual ingredient in it more than anything. So I've had that. I've had a couple others, but I'm getting the patented form of it here really soon. So. And Beauty and the Beast was good. Yes, it was. Look at how jacked the cost of an EpiPen, for fuck's sake. Exactly. Exactly. $750 per EpiPen. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. But so there would be the demand would be higher in reference to how much is left. So if 90, this is 100%, if 90% of this is gone, right? And you're talking about what's in there. It's say we have 100, okay? Say we have 100 slots. Your disease takes up one slot, right? That is 1%. which I'm sure it's even smaller. Okay. But this is just numbers. This is just so we can help you here. It's 1%, right? Say 90% of it goes away. 90% of it just falls the fuck off. If we make America healthy again, and people don't need to access the healthcare industry because they can't stop face fucking themselves with Twinkies, what was 1% is now 10% of the market. You get what I'm saying? Because now, instead of out of 100, it's out of 10, and you're 1 out of 10 instead of 1 out of 100. Thank you. This is why, and I'm just going to point out, this is why people were able to be so terrified about COVID. It's because people don't understand fucking math, right? So the way it worked at the initiation of the COVID pandemic, because it was a plan, but I mean, the way it worked at the beginning of it is that they basically put it out there that, one second. They basically put it out there that, you know, we had this many people die under this many proven cases. So they came up with the inferred infection fatality rate based off of the cases that they tested positive and the people that died of it. Okay. But the numerator is the people that died. The denominator is the people that tested positive. The problem is you're not testing every fucking human. Okay. And many people, up to 90 to 95% of people that get upper respiratory viruses are asymptomatic, meaning they don't have any symptoms and they don't transmit and they don't spread it, they don't transmit it, and then they literally fucking it increases the denominator. So if you increase it by 10 to 50 fold, the denominator becomes much bigger and the fraction becomes much smaller. Reality. I'm not Jesus though, bro. Anyway, if you were to elect someone to your of your choosing as president, who would it be and why? I don't know, but I mean, the president's a tough job, and it's hard to argue that Trump's not doing a good job right now. I mean, I know people aren't happy with every little thing he fucking does, but I mean, just in a fucking week or so, I mean, it's been good, you know. Just it's in like 2 weeks, a lot's been fucking done. A lot of positive shit's been done. I'm looking forward to it. I would have voted for RFK, but if I could elect anybody, I don't know. I haven't even thought about that because that's a hypothetical that's not even possible. Blue is gorgeous on you, retired colorist says so. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. My wife likes it too. It's her favorite color on me. I wear black a lot, but you know, it is what it is. Anywho, unless this is the last, if there's any last questions, get them in here real quick. One more time, here is where you can get the coaching. We do have a couple 1-year spots open and available, so please do check those out. And I will be back at 8 p.m. Eastern time tonight with Mark Loveliner, Evening Rants, hopefully with good news that RFK has been approved as the HHS director so we can proceed with making America healthy again. Oh, wait, hang on. For what it's worth, I think you'd make a great president. I don't at all. I mean, I'm half fucking crazy, so I don't at all. Like, I mean, I think I would do good as I bet you I would do good as health secretary, because I love the data and stuff like that. But I would as president, no. But thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. I'm hoping that's a compliment. But thank you. I appreciate it very much. Same with you. Same with you, Caitlin. I appreciate it. All right, everybody. I will be back possibly. I will be back possibly tomorrow. If not, I will be back sometime this weekend, and then I'll be back Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. I hope all of you have a great goddamn day. My name is Alan Roberts. Click the like button, subscribe, notification bells on. I hope you all have a great day. God damn.